What's up, Kobe? Smoke. Shout out to smoke holders. Or 20. Ganja. Yeah, so it's a little celebration. The wind, yeah, it's a combination. Actually, now that I think about it, I need to carve some smoke into the totem. Yeah, if I'm gonna do some ganja, some 420, it's like a sacrament. It's like anything. You can bring an intentionality to it, right? Which is why cannabis is one of the grows wild here. I didn't grow this. I bought it at a local dispensary, just for this purpose. Sativa, grown locally, no pesticides. To celebrate, smoke DeFi, decentralized finance. The smoke token on base, launched on base. Let's see if I can get it right. And that's the original supply. It's a fee sharing token, part of the Uranus LP web on base. And it's been transformed now into a non-fee meme, smoke. So what I'm gonna do is buy some smoke. I bought some smoke yesterday just for this, just because I knew the launch was coming. I listen, I read. Gonna bridge it over to Pulsechain and put it into the Eros web and connect it to all the other TitanX, build on TitanX assets that we've bridged over. I don't know if you can hear the thunder. Yeah. The weather, it's been raining a lot. I saw this big frog. I have stones that I'm next to where I'm carving. I work out with stones. I build stone sculptures too. I carve some stones sometimes. And I mostly stack stones and work out with them just to keep me strong. And because I love the big stones. And this morning I moved some stones and there was a big frog, a big, beautiful frog. And you know when the frogs are big and healthy, that the water's big and healthy, right? Which is amazing. So we're very fortunate here with the water. We have deep aquifers, glacial springs underneath the land, right? So sacred herb, we're gonna blow up smoke meme on Pulsechain in particular. I mean, everywhere. Where I mean, this is the beauty of having a non-fee token is that it's free to fly. It's good to have fee tokens when you've got our bots and price differentials or a strong community like PTGC. You really have to have value to pay in the fee. Like Eros, I think there's value to pay the 5% fee to get in and out and to transfer it. Yeah. So smoke. Yeah, I grew up. I don't want to. I'm good. What's the puppy? Yeah. So, okay. So the Eros web. So we're going to bring smoke over, and it's going to be. I'm not sure exactly what the pairs are. This is where smoke holders are going to have to define whoever buys smoke and then bridges smoke will define, and you can use it on Ethereum too, I think. But what I'm going to do is buy some and bridge it and use it as part of the web and bring it as economic value into this Eros web, which is it's a decentralized LP web built integrating JakeX assets and now Pulsechain assets, right? So welcome smoke to Ethereum. And now that it's on Ethereum, I'm going to bridge it over. And it's going to be part of, I feel like what we're doing is we're front running the bull run. There's going to be an Ethereum and a JakeX and a Pulsechain bull run. And all that we're doing in this migration of value is to, buy low, bridge over, pair with strength, and work for our bags. Get new people who build on JakeX protocols. Like, I'll give you an example, and I'm going to say, when I name a protocol and a token, I'm going to say, go get educated. So like Smoothing Crypto, his protocol Flare. I just learned today. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 months, but I just learned today from Smooth that there's 3 Flare LP pools on Pulsechain. I didn't even know that, right? And so now we need to tie Flare and JakeX into the Eros web. And we do that just through creating pools that people like. 2 coins that we like join in a pool in the organic web. And together we will build the depth that we need on Pulsechain, the liquidity depth to accept in whales so that whales can come in and play too. Right now, whales, it's hard to buy a lot now. So we buy a little bit at a time, right? And especially at the bottoms in the market, using dust and using tokens that we have that may not have big dollar value, but when deployed in an active economic system where things are happening and we're attracting new investors and people are diamond handing, right? That's where we front run the bull run, which is what we're doing, right? No one's in charge other than I'm in charge of my bags, and the other JakeX people that are collaborating here are in charge of their individual bags, right? This is individuals with a shared interest in bridging, LPing, and optimizing the opportunity that we have for the Ethereum and TitanX bull run, and the leverage that we believe we're going to get on Pulsechain and on Pulsechain with Atropa and on Pulsechain with PTGC through UFO, because we have a new pool, a UFO Eros pool, right? And so we're going to keep on building out the web around the coins that people like and are motivated to create LP and to both get fees and not to trade, because the diamond hand culture is really about understanding how to buy low, which is where we are, or how do you accumulate at the lows, how do you dollar cost average in, and also how do you dollar cost average out to take profits on the way up, because and to stabilize value on the way up, right? Because it's very volatile, and that's why PTGC has cracked the code on Pulsechain and leveraging volume and volatility in their web. And that's why it's an economic machine that's just going to keep on growing. And Eros is a version of it. It's a clone of PTGC. It's a version of it. It's different because the Eros web is an integration of TitanX and Pulsechain assets, right? Yeah, and so we're integrating the Pulsechain side of it, positions of strength, things that people in our community think are strong. So personally, and there are others in our community that agree, that hold PDI, and I'm not like one of these PDI to $1 people. I have no idea. But as a speculative asset at this point in the bull run, with the Atropa ecosystem infusion of capital that I believe is coming, I want that. And so I'm getting exposure with my TitanX assets and my Eros to PDI and to Bear, right? And so we'll be inviting the Bear community in to join the Eros web too, and the Atropa, holders in, and the PDI holders, and the UFO holders, right? You don't have to sell your pulse chain; you can just join into the web, and so that's how we're doing it. So, props to Rich Landon, a true gentleman, who has launched the omni-chain version of Smoke today. And we're in the process of building out the Smoke Xara part of the Eros web. And that's really been our focus to begin, was the coins that we all had, a bunch of us had, that wanted to revive. And so it's Lotus, Eden, JakeX, LegendX, Smoke now, and Eros is like the first focus. But there are going to be other, if you look at the bridge and you listen to people and you come into, telegrams, which is where we're dialoguing about this, I can see what, build on TitanX assets people are wanting to bridge over, right? It's like starting with the fixed supply ones. So that we have truly deflationary asset to bring over to Pulsechain, because that's great. When we have truly deflationary asset, then paired with strength, that feels like a good recipe to me. So, all right. Peace out, y'all. Now that I have some to drink some water and lemon and do some exercise. All right, little bake now. See what you did? Smoke. Little blunt. So little blunt, this is part of, I forgot. This isn't really a blunt. This is not a blunt. A blunt where I grew up is weed, marijuana, 420, ganja, wrapped in tobacco in like a cigar casing. That's how kids in my neighborhood used to roll blunts. And I never liked that. I was also an athlete growing up, so I avoided most drugs. But that's a different story. I eventually became corrupted in life, but I live in balance and mostly only use like what I call medicinals. They're naturally grown medicinal plants. So that's really the only, and I don't really consider them drugs. I do consider them like mind altering substances, which impact chemistry, right? And impact everyone differently, right? My brothers used to say to me, and they're not really weed people, they used to say, hey, bro, go smoke a joint, right? And so where I grew up, there were people that like blunts and people that like joints. And the blunts were rolled in tobacco, and the joints are just rolled in papers. Yeah, I don't know. I think every place has their own language. It's one of the things that has improved where I live. Not, I mean, there's a lot of improvements and stuff, and a lot, things go up and down, progress, and we go forward and backwards. Mostly, at least where I'm from, like the relationships are what have really suffered, like the breakdowns between people. Really, that's what suffered, right? I think that's true globally too. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of radical shifts, ecological breakdowns, political breakdowns, systemic breakdowns. That's why DeFi, decentralized finance, it's not the panacea that some people talk about. All it is assuming we can keep the internet up and assuming that, or there's person to person kinds of, what do you call those things? Local nets, web nets. I forgot what they call them. But assuming we can keep the blockchain up, and it seems like global computers are here to stay for a while. So I'm assuming that it's one of the assumptions, like in early stage technology, one of the things that I've learned is to test assumptions. When you've got a group thinking something, it's making some assumptions. So one of the assumptions is that the internet's going to stay up as it is, and there's not going to be either systemic breakdown, even in satellites. So I'm not sure that blockchain is set up for that kind of scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is one of the assumptions that I and others make, is that the internet is going to be up for us. And if it's not, what are the ways that I can reach the blockchain? So there's that. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I was saying that ganja, the weed where I am, it's one of the improvements in society. I've seen a lot in society and relationships, but I've seen, at least within this society, and there's lots of, it's state by state where I'm from, and it's just good because it first of all, a lot of people that I know, especially black and brown friends, like I used to be the white guy that would go buy weed. at some point in my life so that I wouldn't get arrested because my black and brown friends, you smoke weed in Central Park and if you're white, you get away with it. That's just how it is. Or it used to be that way before we had legal weed. So there's a lot of people. Weed is definitely part of New York culture. And the more that it's not rejected, the more in balance it is. And it's not like in New York, it doesn't feel like a negative thing. It's always felt like a positive thing, but it's been underground. Now it's legal and people are free with it. And I'm mostly a libertarian in terms of mostly a principled libertarian that I think all people aspire, or I aspire to freedom. I just have learned that, you know, freedom without responsibility, both personal and collectively, is a recipe. So, okay. Anyway, so weed and 420 and smoke is one of the things that, and so I feel more free to even do that, even to smoke a joint, like into the camera. I feel more free now because it's legal where I am. That's amazing. Someone can judge me for it, but I'm free, right? That's the beauty of, you know, that here, right? There's not that fear and the stigma. It's actually why I've considered, because I'm with this land, I'm thinking about what to grow here. And, I could just grow, sativa, OG sativa. I'm not sure that's really what I want to do, but it's one of the, when I think about we want to grow here, I am thinking about um, food, um, but I'm also thinking about cash crops. And I don't think about food as a cash crop really, except for a few kinds of food. Like around here, like a really good mushroom farm could be a cash crop. You can also use things like that to trade for meat and stuff. That's why increasingly people are going to start moving towards closer to. It's not why I moved here, but it is the benefit of living up here. I moved here for my son. If it was just up to me, I still wanted to be in the city, but he got born and I needed to be here with him, right? It took me a while. I resisted nature for a while. It was the wood actually that I was like, all right, I'm up here, I'm going to carve a lot. So, yeah. All right. So that was a little, huh. If there's someone out there that has a question, what's the theme? Xara Gamified Defi. Eden, Lotus, JakeX, LegendX, Smoke, Eros on Pulsechain. Yeah. So those, I mean, we're going to do this in waves. It's really the wave of individuals who have these coins and want to deploy them on Pulsechain. So I have Eden and Lotus. Other people have JakeX and LegendX. We're all going to have Smoke because that's why I'm doing this. And most of us who are doing this have started to buy Eros, right? Eros is the tip of the sword. Eros is the PTGC clone. It's actually connected to everything in the web. And so that's why when we build out the web and we bring volume and volatility, the R bots are going to love it. The R bots even love the traffic from Ethereum over the bridge onto Pulsechain. And watch, there probably will be price differentials between Ethereum and Pulsechain, right? And so there are going to be R bots doing ARB, and they're going to be human, human, following this. I'm not going to. I can't do that, quite honestly. I like to have a very settled and clear strategy for myself. I like to keep it simple because a lot of these analytics that are in DeFi have a way more analytic sense of this. And so I let them build the infrastructure and set the strategy. And then I choose for myself, like, my path, right? That's what I like to do. And so that's why, I haven't really, oh yeah, H420, I think, is part of this too. Yes. Yeah. I just got some H420 to celebrate. And I bridged over the H420 and I'm gonna put that into the web too. Right. So I'm not selling these things. I'm bridging them and putting them into the web. Now, as buying and selling happens and as we start to build liquidity, I will be um, buying some and selling others and building my position. And everyone's going to have to do that on one's own. But what the collective is doing is building out the architecture and building out the ratios right so that then people can organically fill in the pools based on the coins we hold or that we're buying low, and then the coins that we want to hold together in LP. Because the idea is only put coins together that you love, that you like both of them. And in the LP, then we don't worry, or at least I don't worry about impermanent loss. If I have two coins that are in there together and I'm making fees on the volatility, and I'm okay with both coins going back and forth in terms of the dollar value is going to be the same. It's the relative ratios between them goes back and forth depending on which one is hot and which one is not, right? But all of that volatility gets the liquidity web filled up with fees, and then that's where holding Eros and staking and locking Eros, or at least a percentage of Eros, makes sense to me, because then I get the benefit of the volatility and the fees in the web. The other thing, just comparing, contrasting, this is like Eros isn't even close to PTGC. PTGC is a blue chip and it's been around for 2 years. Now, Eros has been around for a little over a year, but we just reclaimed it about 10 weeks ago, right? And so we're building from scratch and we're learning from all of our collaborators, right? So we do aspire to be an icon on Pulsechain, and then eventually someone will figure out, I think I know who it is, they have already figured it out, it's just a matter of timing, transforming Eros into Eros X, right? Sort of like what Smoke did, going from a fee token to just a meme token, or a base token. It's not just a meme; it's a meme attached to a cap supply, right? Store of value now, right? That's what probably Smoke is, a store of value. It's going to be very limited supply. I think there's going to be diamond hand holders, and it's going to be in this LP web, and it'll be one of the stores of value that people hold, right? And that we can have diamond hands around. I think Eros is like that. I mean, right now, one of the attractions is there aren't a lot of big Eros sellers, right? Because supply is still in a lot of dead wallets, and right now the holders are accumulating. We're building a diamond hand culture. That's the idea. And because no one's in charge, it incentivizes any holder to do something, right? This is my challenge. The challenge to myself, if I'm going to accumulate like these Eros and these Pulsechain to match with JakeX. I better do something. I better work for my bags. That's why I'm doing this, right? It's not to sell anything. It is to educate, though. It's to help people to make wise decisions, whatever it is. I'm only attached to what I do for me and my son and my family and my pups and my friends. Right? I'm not attached to what other people do on the internet. Not at all. You see, the storm is coming in. This is good. Rich, this is going to be huge. Smoke. Oh, so not that anybody cares, but tomorrow I'm going to do a stream, hopefully with Rich. And later in the day, yeah, probably. Well, we'll see. Probably Rich and Allie, because Rich and Allie are the two people that have been really in the trenches, sort of bridging and setting ratios and preparing everything for, preparing the LP pools so that then those of us who are not the architects and the construction folks, I've done my piece of the construction. What did I do? I set up just so that I could. I think I did Lotus and JakeX. I did Lotus and Eros. And then I did Eden and JakeX and Eden and Eros. I think I did those four. Yeah, between me and a few other people, we set up those pools and ratios, and then other people have been filling in after that. I'm really interested in seeing if we can give Tink a good use case. I don't hold Tink just because I wasn't in the farms, but I know a lot of people were in the farms, are in the farms, and there's still inflation coming. And so if we had a use for that Tink in this web that I believe is indigenous to JakeX and is going to mirror the JakeX, ecosystem, sort of like what Richard Hart did with Pulsechain. It's what this web is doing. It's just mirroring what we've got on Ethereum, on Pulsechain. It's not going to be the exact same. It's going to be all. We're not creating any new supply. It's the all. It's yeah, high from your own supply, right? And it contributes to the scarcity and the deflationary character of all the build on JakeX assets. All right. I think I'm done. Unless somebody is here with questions. Smoothing Crypto came on this morning. Is anybody here? Can just ask me a question. Let's have a dialogue. Otherwise, I need to leave because there's a storm. I'd like to stay and dialogue if anybody's here. I see there are some people watching. I don't know if that's actually true. It's telling me that there are 22 people watching. I don't know if that's true. I think that maybe it is. I'm not sure I believe the X metrics on these streams. I just think if someone sort of scrolls through it, that it shows up as someone watching it. I don't think it's true. It doesn't matter. This is really designed for me to get my ideas clear. And also, if there's one person that learns one thing and helps that one person to make one good decision for oneself, then my purpose is set. And also to spread an idea that I'm comfortable talking about, even though not everybody else is this idea of migrating JakeX assets to Pulsechain and then pairing in the Eros web. Yeah, I'm into it. And pretty soon, I think we're going to have some really cool LP pairs to start offering and sharing to each other, right? And we can demonstrate, for example, how you can have an LP pair. It's an NFT. I can send it, like, I don't know if anybody saw Maya I'm gonna bring Maya back on this stream soon. Actually, she probably could come right now. Maya, you should come on. You should bring Maya. Let me invite Maya. See if Maya could come on. Hold on. That would be fun. I'm bored doing this by myself, talking to myself. That's absurd. All right. Um, hold on. Let me see if I can invite Maya. Maya. All right. I just invited Maya. Well, still working? Wow, still going. Holy shit. Okay. I can't believe. All right, I've got to end this. That was bad.